Griffin here, coming back to you all with another video. I'm needing to apparently zoom this out just a little bit. We're just going live tonight. I have the chat actually pulled up here on my laptop. I'm doing a little bit of a different type of video or stream, I guess, for you guys tonight. As some of you all may know that are in our Discord group chat, I have the week to myself this week, or the week. I have the house to myself this week. My family is up in Missouri seeing our new niece. Congratulations to my brother-in-law, sister-in-law for having their kid. They actually had the kid shortly after us, just a few weeks, but want to give them a congrats again if they do happen to see this. But I do have my chat pulled up here. How's it going there, Mr. Roger? Hopefully you're having a good evening so far. And of course, if you all are new to me, this is not actually how we tend to do our streams. Usually, either we do it on the laptop or, of course, which I do have the whiteboard here in case if we do need to end up bringing out the old whiteboard. If we're doing any math or anything like that, I do have it pulled up there. Usually, our setup's a little more professional, but word has it that YouTube is wanting to be a little bit more like TikTok, so they're wanting us to go live a lot more in general. So you can probably expect, even if it is just shorter clips or, shorter live streams, whatever the case may be, they want us to do this type of content. So, you got to shake it for the algorithm, right? And of course, if you have any questions, anything like that, like all of our live streams, do not hesitate to shout it out in the chat. I do have the chat pulled up today. That's the only difference with doing it like this. We may do, like I said, more streams like this with this type of setup if you all like it, especially these later nights. Let me know either in the chat or by smashing that thumbs up button or heart or whatever the case may be if you all would want me to do some more later night live streams. I say late night, you can tell I'm getting older or that I'm a dad, one of the two, because it's not even 9:30 yet where I'm at and I'm already getting tired, or not tired, but I'm considering it late night. How's it? I'm gonna give you all some shout outs here. How's it going? Mr. Salvador Mora says, hey everybody, hey guys, hope everyone's having a great July. Hopefully you all are as well. How's it going? Rue knows. Let's see, he says, let's go. And then he says, I'm more of a playback person typically. Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same. The only time I tend to usually watch other YouTubers live streams is either A, if they're absolutely hilarious, or B, if it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a webinar, but it's live and you can actually ask questions. I love finding YouTubers really that are kind of similar to me, not like my same like pest control or anything like that, but if I'm learning about, for example, SEO, you guys know I shout out Chris Palmer a lot on the YouTube channel. He is very interactive with his audience, similar to me, and he's done parts of his stream literally for me even. Like I'll ask, hey, can you blah, 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 blah for like a pest control company, and he'll break it down like almost on like a whiteboard. I think he has like a smart board, fancy guy, but yeah, no, it's awesome to interact with like the smaller YouTube channels who, don't have 1,000 chats per minute or anything like that, to where you can actually interact with them and that kind of thing. And my goal is even if we ever do get to that size, I want to be able to still interact with everybody. So if I have to literally like stop my stream in terms of what the stream was about, just to keep up with the questions, I'll do whatever it takes essentially, but we'll see. Let's see, Roger says it's always good to listen to intelligent people who share their experience in this important bit. Yeah, no, most definitely. I agree with you 100%. I've only found maybe one or two other guys. Of course, there's like, the Bug Bucks community. There's communities on like Facebook. But I love the video or podcast type of aspect, which, by the way, I've been doing a horrible job of updating the podcast. I know a lot of people prefer like audio format content just because you can listen to it while you're, in the field. whatever the case may be, on your radio or on your, work, car, truck radio, whatever the case may be, while you're in the gym, etc. Of course, if you have YouTube Premium, you can do that as well. But I'm trying to be better about uploading the podcast for you guys as well. Which, by the way, let me know in the chat if you guys even knew that we had a podcast, by the way. I got a feeling a lot of you, because we're getting new viewers, literally by the day. Let me know in the chat if you guys even knew that we had a podcast. Rue says, I did not know. So yeah, I've done a horrible job of letting you guys, know that. I try not to be like super like in your face promotion type of, hey, go look at this. Hey, like I mentioned our group chats and all that stuff where I know people will get the most value, at least like what I think they would get the most value out of. But I need to do a better job of mentioning the podcast as well. I try when I'm really in podcast mode, when I'm actually shooting videos or streams, to mention, if you're listening on the podcast, blah, 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 blah. That way it kind of lets you all know without putting it in your face. But man, this like social media, YouTube, all this stuff, I mean, it's hard I see why they say you should script a lot of stuff, at least the stuff that you want to hit. Otherwise, it's definitely easy to forget. Let's see. Rue says, my time is limited, multiple businesses running, and 5 kids. Whew. I got 2. So, 5. I can only imagine. I got 2 under 5, but I don't got 5 kids. So, yeah, I can only imagine. Let's see. He says, got some suggestions. If you pre-record intro with screen that has all the links, works great at the beginning and outro. Yeah, and I love how like YouTube at least sets it up for us in terms of like the quote unquote outro, where like we can actually, now it used to be you can only put a video and you're subscribed. Now they're allowing you to put a playlist in there, put a link in there, of course your usual subscription icon or whatever, and then of course you can plug cards in throughout the videos as well. But yeah, it's always a work in progress for sure. I mean, I have over 550 videos on this channel, and if you go all the way back to like video 1, I'll watch it like once a year just to kind of remind myself, like, man, like this used to be you, and like look at how you've grown. Like in that first video, I sound like super soft, not like soft, but like just kind of soft voice, soft spoken, I guess, if that makes sense. People underestimate how much it takes in terms of your voice box to actually, not kind of talk like, it's hard to explain, like I said. But what I'm doing this evening is just making some updates to our website. It's probably going to be a little bit of a work in progress. We actually just recently, no like major updates or anything like that. I found out that a SEO plugin that I use called Rank Math, it's pretty affordable too. I forget, not very expensive for your WordPress website, and I believe they're on more than just WordPress, but don't hold me to that. But their website or their plugin, they have an option in there where you can actually set up your redirects. So like me, for example, we set up our website kind of wrong in terms of, if you look at most websites, especially pest control websites, a lot of them are actually structured wrong in terms of silo structure, which Google rewards big time if you have your silo structure right. Most companies, what they do is they have that generic, like we've talked about over and over, you got, and I'll just kind of draw this up here for you guys just for a quick little visual. Hopefully you guys can, oh yeah, this whiteboard's big enough. At first I was worried the whiteboard wasn't big enough, but you have, of course, your header up here when you're looking at like a web page, right? And you'd have, of course, home, what else? Locations, service locations. What else we got? Maybe your services. And then, a blog, video, whatever the case may be. And in all honesty, you can literally just cut this out altogether. I found that out the hard way, literally just recently. Again, shout out to Chris Palmer. his YouTube channel is actually not that small. He has like 25,000 subscribers, but like I said, he's very active with his audience as well. And he's great when it comes to website structure, SEO, local SEO services, that kind of thing. Shout out to him again, because I had created probably about 60-ish, 60, anywhere between 60 to 100, not 100 for sure, but like 60 to 80 blog posts underneath this blog. Again, this is, the top of the page, so to speak. Imagine this being like a web page, right? Make it look a little prettier, I guess. I can get rid of some of this. So, this is, web page right here. You have, of course, your H1 heading, it'd be, oh my God, that looks ugly. Your H1 heading is going to be, the title, the page, pest control in X town, right? And then, of course, you got, your blah, 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 blah. Maybe you have a little form right here, contact us, submit your quote request, whatever the case may be. But this is, your heading, right? The stuff at the top, the most important stuff that Google is looking for on your website. Don't need to worry about a blog in terms of having its own heading like that. So what you'll do is you'll actually just worry about primarily your locations. So this would be a drop down, right? And you'd have, whatever cities that you service. And then from there, let's just put city. From there, you would break down the silo structure, is what it's called. Instead of having a blog post that just is about the city, which is way over here, right? It's over here in La La Land by itself. Google's looking at it like, what the hell do you want me to do with this, right? And it all makes sense after someone kind of explains it to you and walks you through it. And I know we've been over this, here and there on the channel if you've been following us for a little bit. But I want to make sure it hits home for those of you that are starting a pest control business and you're going to be starting fresh with a website, because it's so much easier if when you start your website you structure it properly than doing what I'm doing. Because now that I have these 50 to 100, 60 to 100, whatever, however many blog posts, now I'm having to go in, copy that content, put it where it belongs underneath the service location as the supporting content. Your pillar content is the city that you're wanting to rank for, right? When you type in, pest control Dallas, nothing, your home pages aren't popping up. The only people that have home pages popping up are, the big guys, the Orkins, the Terminexes, where they have so much domain authority. If you don't know what domain authority is, you can look it up real quick. Long story short is how many backlinks do you have? How long have you been in business? Of course, you can only control one of those, the backlinks and the structure, all that stuff to your website. How long you've been in business, you can't control at the end of the day. So we can control, and by doing that, we get these city pages to rank well. Because say you just type in right now, if you have a laptop or whatever, to the side that you could do a search on real quick, type in pest control in whatever city you're trying to rank in, or town, suburb, whatever. And I guarantee you most pages that are going to pop up on that page 1 and even page 2, page 3, depending on how dense the population of pest control companies are in your area, it'll all say pest control city or city pest control. It'll be one of those two 99% of the time. And of course, that's not the home page ranking, right? That's the location page ranking. So how do you get your location page to rank? By building authority around that. How do you build authority? Through what's called topical authority. So you're not just going to create random ass blog posts or anything. You're going to create content around things that people are searching in that city related to pest control. Great tools to use for this. A free one is, of course, Google Keyword Planner. It's free. It comes with I think it's part of the Google Ads, if I recall, Google Ads setup. And it's free to use. You can also use SEMrush. It's a little bit pricey. It's usually like a minimum, if I recall, like $120 a month. It's a little pricey, but there is, I'll say, a lot of good, valuable information in there to help you. And there's no, yearly thing. It's a month to month. So like us, we'll use it and then we'll drop it. Use it, drop. Like it just depends what mode we're in terms of SEO mode. But yeah, you're gonna, like, say for example, not that this is the case, but say for example you have a common search in Dallas, Texas, right? Because I'm in the Dallas, Texas area. Say that people are searching for how to get rid of mosquitoes fast in Dallas. Well, obviously you're not going to have here, anything in your heading about how to get rid of mosquitoes fast in Dallas, right? But what we can do is create a page, a blog post within that, not within that page, but underneath that page's category that lets Google know, hey, we are a authority on, I'll just do an abbreviation. We're an authority on mosquitoes, getting rid of mosquitoes in Dallas, right? And then you find another one, about, say, spiders, and you relate it all back to pest control Dallas by linking up to that page. You're not linking across, you're not linking to your homepage, not linking to just your basic mosquito service pages. In all honesty, these service pages are shit. They are. They're rarely ever gonna rank. People are gonna have to type in a very specific term. You're gonna have this page super optimized or have a ton of backlinks going to it. The best chance you have of ranking pages as a business that's less than probably at least 10 to 20 years old, from what I have learned, again, in my experience, what I've learned in the time of learning SEO, is trying to get your city pages to rank. And maybe if you really want to, getting your service pages, we can just say S for service page, your service page within that city page to rank. These service pages here, I think I mentioned this on the most recent or maybe a different stream recently. These service pages aren't totally worthless, because if someone wants to see just really quickly from whatever page they're on, being that this is in the heading and it's a drop down, they can quickly, if they just want to know, hey, do they do, ant control? They can hit your drop down and they'll see ant control, versus having to navigate through, you want, with today's low attention having generation, you want everything to be easily accessible. So I'm not saying just don't do it, don't get me wrong. I'm saying don't stress out about having that page super optimized necessarily. Like it's in terms of importance, it's very low. So hopefully all that kind of makes sense. And like I said, what we're having to do now, since we set this up wrong, is we're actually having to pretty much delete that page, because whenever we go in and delete that page, we're not just, you think, well, you're just copy and pasting it, right? So why do you have to set up what's called a redirect? If you don't know what a redirect is, have you ever came across like a page, you typed in something on Google, it showed a website, you click the website and it says like this page no longer exists? That's what you don't want, because if you get enough of those hits, they're called 404. It's a code sign that lets Google's algorithm know, hey, this page doesn't exist, it's not helping anybody. You get enough of those across your website, Google's going to start dinging your entire website. So what happens is whenever even though we're copying and pasting it, it's not the same URL, because it's a different URL structure. So before we would have, I'll just make it short. We'll say pest.com/blog, the blog post, right? Where now, try to make sure y'all can see this pretty good, where now that URL no longer exists. It's actually pest.com/city/ whatever supporting content. And like we said, this can also be broken down even further. You could go as far as, like we said, we have created service pages within each city as the foundation of our supporting content. So we would say /city/ service, and then from there you could do / we'll just say content, right? So it can break down, as far as you wanted to. I mean, say, you could break it down realistically as far as you wanted to. Realistically, though, you only need to break it down to about right here or right here. And when I say right here, what I'm saying is say you already got the service pages and you've already got quite a few supporting pieces of content that are supporting that service page. It's a domino effect. So of course, your homepage is gonna go through the roof. Over time, like we said, Orkin and Terminix are the main ones who are ranking their home pages because they've got thousands of articles, backlinks, etc. If you run any type of tool on their website, it'll blow your mind. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of backlinks. I mean, it's just insanity. But my point is not every piece of content has to support that service page. Because at the end of the day, as long as it's supporting that city page is going to go up the Google search. Assuming it's good content, right? We're not saying just throw up, random pieces of content or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you want this content to be, we'll just make a little star here, 5-star content equals supporting this, which supports your city pages. Oops, started dragging the board with me. It supports your city page going up, which, like we said, over time will cause even your homepage to go up for a lot of search terms, assuming you have that optimized as well. Let me get to the chat real quick because I know I haven't gotten to you guys for a minute. And if you guys are liking the stream and whatnot, like I said, let me know by smashing that thumbs up button. I know within the chat we have like a heart too. Thumbs up, heart, whatever the case may be. It lets me know you guys like doing these type of streams and stuff, because we don't do these type of streams very often at nighttime with this type of setup where I'm on my laptop here, got the whiteboard. I'm actually supposed to be doing some work. That's why it says like, let's talk business, because I'm just supposed to be talking business while doing work on my business. But you guys know how I get. I always like to try to, just beat certain points into your all's head that have almost scarred me in terms of, God, I wish I knew this. Like the playlist says, things I wish I knew when I started my pest control company. Because my God, if I knew what I knew now, we'd probably be at 7 figures within the first year instead of just 6. Let's see. Rue says most small businesses are set up wrong for sure. I've done it in the past. I'm assuming you're talking about the website structure like we were talking about. How's it going? I hate mispronouncing names. Anwar Hossein? I'm sure I'm butchering the hell out of that. But he says, and how's it going, by the way? He says, hey man, love your content, keep it up. Most definitely, I appreciate it. Rue says, appreciate you putting all this. Appreciate you putting out all this for people, man. I had like misread it for a second. No, I appreciate you all tuning in, of course. And as always, if you guys have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to shout it out in the chat. But definitely I want to keep this in the background. If you're wondering what's at the top, this has nothing to do with the video. This is for me to remember the type of content, which I guess does kind of go into the content factor. So if you're wondering, like, because I could go on about this content thing literally all night, but because you know, obviously I'm a quote unquote content creator. The main thing when it comes to the type of content you're going to want to write or post videos, pictures, whatever the case may be, you're going to want to be thinking about what are people searching for. People are either searching for who, you know, who does X, what the hell is this, right? In the case of the bug industry, what type of bug, this, that, the other. When, you know, when with our industry is not a very high search volume type of search, but like when should I do a termite treatment? When, like, again, just type this stuff in some type of, you know, Chat GPT or even some of these search models. Let's see. For those needing help with development using ChatGPT, yeah, that's funny. I was literally just about to bring up some ChatGPT too. ChatGPT is awesome with the right controls. Yep, you need to have the right prompts, which I want to do more content for you guys on the type of prompts that we set up. You can, of course, I've talked about a couple of plugins that you can get for free. I think one is called like AI PRM or something like that. We've talked about it a few times on this channel. They have a lot of free prompts that can really help you if you're very, you know, not savvy like with the whole AI thing yet. I have slowly but surely learned how to develop prompts to the point that it's almost scary, in all honesty. I do pay for the ChatGPT Premium. I don't know if that's really worth it, but we do have like the most updated version. And with the prompts that we're putting in, it is producing content like very scary good. Like it will have the H1 headings, like your title, your H2s, H3s. It'll have the headings like in their proper structure to the point where you could literally copy paste it. And in some cases, if I can set the prompt up right, like I said, I'll need to do a stream for you guys or a video, you know, tutorial on how we do this exactly. But it'll even put like proper internal links. And what do I mean by an internal link? An internal link is whenever you like hyperlink a web page of your website, you can do this. This is how you get backlinks actually, right? Is if somebody creates a piece of content, a web page, and they link, you know, some of their text in that to your content, to your website, that's how you get a backlink. If you're wondering like, what the hell is a backlink anyways? He keeps bringing up backlinks. What are they? That's all it is when someone creates, you know, a website, or, you know, not just a website because that's the whole site, but a web page within their website, like a blog post or a YouTube video or whatever the case may be, and they link to your website, that's how you get a backlink. And why backlinks are so valuable to Google is because when they see that other websites that have been around for a while have some authority, you're kind of mooching off of their authority, it will increase your authority because, you know, it's showing Google that it's giving Google's algorithm the signals that, hey, like this person here seems to think that, you know, Preferred Pest Management is good at X, right? So, you know, I'm probably going to break that little clip right there up into a YouTube short maybe or something because I know a lot of people don't watch these live streams because it's obviously people have lives and stuff. But yeah, when is hard. Where, that's where we really make our money, right? Where, you know, that's where people are typing in pest control in X city, right? Why? That's another one that, you know, doesn't, I mean, sure, you can make content around whys, but there's not very many in our industry. You could type in, I'm sure people are typing in, like I said, I haven't really been looking at it tonight, but, you know, they might be typing in why do I have random bites, or why are mosquitoes exploding all of a sudden? I'm stuck on mosquitoes because the first case of West Nile virus was actually found in my city here in Rowlett, Texas, within the last 24 hours. So praying for whoever got that, of course, but, you know, like they say, never let a crisis go to waste. So you better believe I was hopping on all of our Rowlett pages, and why does it say message held for review? Let me see. Oh, it's just, oh my gosh, YouTube is crazy. Why is it? How do I let people see it? Chat messages held for review can be seen by you but are hidden. You can disable this feature. Okay, hopefully that worked now. So that shouldn't happen again. Okay, so we'll hit show. There we go. Is it showing now? What's it doing? What is it doing? Freaking YouTube's messing up. I did see your chat, Runos, but it's not, for some reason, YouTube's, trying to be the parent of the chat for some reason. All he said was, oh shit. But yeah, the first West Nile virus case was actually found here in Rowlett, Texas. First one that I'm aware of in a couple years, actually. I might be wrong on that, but if I recall last year, we didn't have an issue with that. But like they always say, never let a crisis go to waste. So we were, just regurgitating, hey, to help out the community right now, $25 off all mosquito services, text, call, blah, 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 just all over Rowlett. And of course, I'm on Zuckerberg's watch list right now in terms of I can't even post in groups, can't comment or anything until this Saturday. So I'm having to just comment on the actual Rowlett community page about that. But how do you feel about marketing with EDDM? I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about, but let me just make sure, because my mind is all over the place. That's what is that? Something direct marketing. Every door, yeah, that's right. Every door direct marketing, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so torn on this. I've been wanting to try it. I haven't tried it, so I'll say that up front. I can't necessarily speak on it from my personal experience because that, like I say on this channel, most of pretty much everything I talk about is from my experience. So I want to say that up front, that I had no experience with doing it. The closest to experience I have with this is with our door hangers, right? Which is kind of similar. The only difference is one goes in the mailbox, one is on the door. 90% probably end up in the trash for both of them, to be honest, right? Let's see. I had a print shop and still have access to it. I used to sell a lot back in the day. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I mean, if you have some kind of hookup too, then by all means, utilize it, right? Especially when we're first starting. I know how it is. Like I said, I got my not very first customer, but very first recurring pest control customer from door hangers. So print ads, it's not, just complete garbage or anything. I'm definitely not going to say that from my experience, but definitely the main thing that I learned from that experiment that I had with it was don't put a bunch of words on it. I mean, of course, the one, if you're doing, where it's sending in the mail, it's going to be slightly different because a door hanger is, small, right? Where the things going in the mail, they're a little bit larger usually for the most part. Definitely about the copyright types that go on with. Yeah, and the main thing too is just, don't put a lot of text on it. This is where I see a lot of guys, especially in our industry, they kind of overdo it. They want to list all the services. They want, you do that type of shit on your flags and stuff that you're putting in people's yard when you leave, right? We just purchased some 6x6 yard signs, and I'll have to take a picture and put it on the YouTube channel and our post and in our group chats and all of that for you guys to actually see what our first one looks like. And by all means, I'm not even thoroughly impressed with our first one. We'll probably actually upload another one with a QR code and all this other stuff. But because little hack with the QR code too is if you're going to put a QR code on anything, create a web page in your website specifically for that QR code, and when you do that, set it to no index. That tells Google, hey, we don't want this website to be showing up in Google search, because you only want people to see that website that see the QR code, right? like you, or not website, web page. You only want people to see that web page who, scan that QR code, right? You don't want it showing up in search. That's going to fuck up your analytics and your tracking and all that. So put a QR code on every single piece of content in terms of marketing, in terms of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like printed ads, regardless if it's door hangers, flyers, EDDM, whatever, even business cards. I had one of our videos that didn't even take off, which I'm not surprised because people, just don't think about business cards anymore. I shouldn't even labeled it. I might go in there and retitle that entire video and see if that makes it, and just re-upload it essentially and see if it'll do better. Because, god damn, man, like, even our business cards, we put QR codes on them. Now, we messed up with the first batch. We sent it to our homepage for one set, and then we sent it to our Google business profile where, like, our review link, which, by the way, is another hack to get Google reviews. When you get done doing a service with somebody, have your business card with a QR code that goes straight to your Google business profile review link, and you can get a review right there on the spot. Little hack for getting Google reviews. But yes, put QR codes on everything, and definitely, like I said, make sure that when it comes to websites, to make your tracking a lot easier, make a specific web page, pretty much like a landing page, right? Just like you would do for a Google ad, a Facebook ad, whatever type of ad you're doing, you're going to want to make a separate, they call them landing pages. It's just a fancy term for web page at the end of the day. But, anyone that uses that fancy jargon, they're going to try to sell you something 10 out of 10 times. A funnel page, essentially. Exactly. Where you're going to, funnel page, funnel hacks, right? Again, that's another new term that just came out coincidentally by a company that has made millions of millions, sounds like hundreds of millions at this point. I mean, shout out to Russell at the end of the day for capitalizing on that. But they're always trying to sell you something, right? But the main thing is you want to make that tracking as easy as possible to where you can get the email, the this, the that. That way, even if they don't do business with you the first time, you have their email on file. You got their phone number on file. They're either going to have to unsubscribe from your email list, or they're going to have to block the phone number, or not block your literal phone number, but the marketing side of it, right? So, definitely do that. Cannot stress that enough. And then how, of course. 80% of people are not going to do business with a pest control company for most things, right? Even termite. I mean, I'm finding people that I can tell, like, I feel like asking them, you tried DIYing this shit, didn't you? Like, I can tell I'm like following behind a DIYer. And with that, you need to be thinking about, too, how, like, what people are searching for is how do I X? How to get rid of termites? How to get rid of mosquitoes? How, you could write how, honestly, how is probably about 60 to 70, 2 out of 3 articles that, we're starting to publish in terms of our new content that I'm creating. It's crazy. I believe that's the statistic, actually. Somewhere around like 70 to 80% of people will try to avoid using a pest control company. Now, the people that do, as most of you all can probably tell, most of them, keyword most of them, it sells itself. As long as you're not listing an outrageous price, 1,000 square foot home for, $80 a month for quarterly pest control, like, $240 a quarter, like, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, as long as you're competitive, like, they'll be like, okay, like, they're not going to call around. Like, it sells itself as long as you sound confident, you know what you're doing, all that. But the person that's trying to avoid using us, how can we get on their good side to where when they eventually can't get their shit under control, right, they come to us? How? By writing, no pun intended, we write the how content. And I know you all probably can barely see that up there. Like I said, that wasn't even originally like for today's stream or anything. I keep that up there for when I'm writing content, and I have, writer's block for what I want to type into Chat GPT. But yeah, you write the how. You answer the questions. How do I do this? How? Like, just tell them. Like, let them try it. Let them go buy all that expensive equipment and shit. Like, if they want to try it, how I compare it at the end of the day, just like people get so frustrated with, pesty, do-it-yourself pest control. What else is out there? I mean, there's hundreds of them at this point. I mean, they're going crazy with how many of these DIY companies there are now, which I'm not going to hate on anybody going out there making their money at the end of the day. There's some of them that are doing it kind of stupidly, in my opinion, but, I'm not going to hate on them for their grind. How can we benefit from those people is by answering the fucking question, because they already kind of have a lot of them. The customer I'm talking about, right? You can tell they did not want to call you. They're like, yeah, I mean, what do you use? Are you insured? And if you've been in business more than 90 days, you've had this customer. I guarantee it. Or even if you've worked at a company for more than 90 days as a technician, you've had this customer, right? The customer who is just kind of, almost talking shit the whole time you're there, right? Just kind of like you're in the back of your head going, man, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm just trying to make a living. Like, come on, man. Like, and how I compare, the how when I'm writing that content, what I keep in perspective is, where was I going with that thought? I was reading your comment, Roger. It's true what you say, bro? Yeah, no, 100%. But I compare it to going back to the whole DIY websites and stuff. You need to focus on your shit. You don't need to be focusing on the DIY company. How I compare the DIY companies they are what O'Reilly, AutoZone, all those companies are to the local mechanic, right? And I think actually, because I want to give credit where credit's due, it just came back to me. I think his name is Eric Bassett. I think he mentioned something very, very similar. He may have even used the same analogy on the Bug Bucks, either in the group or on the podcast. It may have been on the podcast. Like, we are literally, like, it's that tandem right there, like the DIY pest control is the O'Reilly, the AutoZone, that kind of thing, to mechanics. Or I think, like Bruno said right here, Home Depot and Lowe's to the local contractor. Like, there's very, very few professions. I mean, hell, even people try to DIY their plumbing. I mean, my own father, he's a contractor. Like, he owned a construction business, and like, we literally built his own home. Like, I could probably build my own home even if I wanted to, with how much I learned, but because I helped him, of course. But yes, like, people will literally try. There are a lot of people who will try to do everything themselves, and instead of resenting those people, and instead of wasting your energy and your time, like, trying to pretty much just hate on those people, focus on adding value, not just in your service, obviously, but add value to that customer to where, hey, maybe instead of seeing the DIY company first, the first thing they're running into is your article answering the question about, hey, how do I get rid of mosquitoes on my own? How do I get rid of termites on my own? And by the way, you could go into a whole nother sector of business here with affiliate marketing. I'm not even gonna get started on that because, man, I'll blow the freaking roof off this stream if I go into that. But affiliate marketing and, or hell, even opening up, getting your licenses to sell your own chemical, or not your own chemical, but maybe even getting the manufacturing and licensing to sell chemical yourself as well. Like, there's a lot of, like, in pest control and in every service industry, I find that most people, their think is just too small. And I want to really help everybody kind of, even myself, because I used to, I can't even comment on pesty stuff because I only commented once. I said, you know, something like LOL, it's funny you have someone that's not even wearing gloves applying pesticide. That's illegal, and they blocked me. But, you know, that was me hating. Like, sure, they should have, you know, made it with long sleeve, like, obviously, but I didn't have to be a smart ass. I was hating at the end of the day, right? Like, this was just like a year or two ago when Pesty first came out. Runo says, I love it because when they mess up their house or get tired of failing, they are willing to pay out the nose. And who do you want them to see, by the way, when that happens? Do you want them to see Orkin, Terminix, you know, boom, 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 the biggest players in your area? Or do you want them to remember, hey, that dude helped me. He tried to help me, like Bruno said, they messed it up, so he's having to call one of us now. But you want them to remember, hey, this dude, you know, he had a guide at least that, you know, I sucked at doing it, but he at least tried to answer my question. Let me see what, you know, he's all about if you happen to be, because you're gonna find too with these type of articles, you're gonna get traffic from not just in your area, you'll get traffic from, you know, all over to a certain degree, which, like we said, your goal at the end of the day is to obviously drive business to your city pages or even your home page or your contact us. You know, that is where, it's funny, Google Search Console just sent me an email because I haven't set up my URL redirect yet. Yeah, you're wanting to obviously drive business to that city page. That way they fill out forms, that gets you the business, all of that. But at the same time, you want to help people. Like, that's what we're in business for at the end of the day. Like, sometimes we got to take a step back before we can take 2 steps forward. And that's kind of the point that I got to with even my website, my content and everything, was I was like, man, some of this content is really, now that I'm looking at it, it's not that good. There's been some articles I've just straight up scrapped from the website. I didn't worry about reposting it or anything, like, you know, structure wise, because I was like, this is focusing too hard on trying to sell. I was like, these articles, they're not meant to sell. They're meant to answer a question, help somebody, and obviously, you know, have that supportive content that is going to boost that city page. So you got to keep in mind the reader of the article at the same time. Because if the reader clicks that article and they see sell, 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 like immediately, what are they going to do? They're out of there. That's what increases your what's called bounce rate. Google does not like you to have a high bounce rate, right? So we want people to read that article for a couple minutes, hop over to another article, maybe hop over to our YouTube channel, maybe even hop over to one of our affiliates if you're, you know, starting to try to incorporate affiliate marketing with some of these DIY companies, which, like I said, I'm not going to go into it because I'll blow the roof off this freaking stream. But point being, you don't want a high bounce rate. You have a high bounce rate, it doesn't matter how much content you post to support that city page, it's not going to ever go up in ranking. It'll go up to probably page 2 because, I mean, just the fact that you have your structure down is going to beat 80 to 90% of the competition, but you're not going to ultimately reach paradise top 3 positioning or anything like that because your bounce rate is through the freaking roof. Now, in our type of industry, our bounce rates are going to be higher than, you know, if you just type in on Google, what is an ideal bounce? I mean, let's do it right here. I have my laptop. What is a good bounce rate for a website? So a guideline is 40% or lower, while a bounce rate of 55% or higher is considered high and may indicate that improvements need to be made. So you want to stay below 50%, essentially. I haven't checked my bounce rate in a while. Actually, it's been a long time. I should probably do that. I might do an update video for you guys about that. Like what our highest bounce rate is versus what our lowest bounce rate is. Because, yeah, I haven't checked that in a while. But, like, I'm talking since before Gorilla Desk even made us a website. But, yeah, our industry, it's going to naturally be higher because a lot of times people, I'm not going to say it's always going to be higher, but you're going to have pages that perform really, really well, and you're going to have pages that perform really, really bad. The main thing is you want to make sure that you can at least make that supporting content the best that you can. And don't think about Google's algorithm, think about who's reading that. Because if you look at that article and you go, I wouldn't read this, do you think somebody else is going to read it? Like, let's be real. Now, it's not to say that you need to literally be an expert at writing to produce content for that, but just keep that in mind whenever you are creating that content. If it doesn't look like something that is gonna either help people or entertain people, don't post it. It's just not, you're not helping your website at the end of the day. You'd be better off just not posting that day. You know, if you're having a bad day, you know, just draw it up as an L, go do something else. Go focus on optimizing your Google business profile. Go focus on, you know, I mean, guys, this is business. We have thousands of things. I mean, probably not thousands, but tens at the minimum, tens if not hundreds of things that we can be doing. So if you're having a day where you just can't, you know, gotta go, bro. 4:30 comes quick. Man, 4:30. Yeah, see, I keep telling y'all, a lot of y'all be out hustling me. But yeah, no, awesome to see you again. Rue knows, appreciate it. And I believe I have some comments of yours to reply to as well. I'll be getting on that over the next couple days for you. And as always, like I said, if y'all are tuning in for the first time, these live streams are specifically for you guys. Of course, I go into my own thing about what I'm, you know, teaching you guys or whatever the case may be, like from my experience. But if you have any questions specifically, just shout it out in the chat. I also, on this type of stream that we have set up right now, I have my laptop pulled up right here because I'm actually working right now, updating our website. And I'm literally just answering your questions as they come in about business. For those of you that don't know me, maybe tuning into the stream for the first time, I'm the owner of the company Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business. We're in the Dallas, Texas area. We've been in business for, how long have we been in business now? About 3 years, and had a total brain fart there. Been in business for about 3 years, and I just literally document my entrepreneurial journey for you guys. And you know, we talk about, of course, the pest control business is what we're heavy on at the moment, but we talk about, of course, the pest control business. We talk about marketing, we talk about sales, we talk about, you know, of course, just the mindset of the quote unquote entrepreneur. You know, we talk about all that stuff here. SEO, we've been focusing heavy on SEO, website structure tonight, but we talk about everything business related at the end of the day. It's not just, you know, pest control or anything like that. So, like I said, we're heavy on pest control, but we talk about a lot of just overall business talk in general. So if you have any questions that, you know, are just about business and investing and that kind of thing in general, feel free to shout it out in the chat. Because that's what we're here for at the end of the day. And like I said, right now, what I'm doing, for those of you that are wondering, is editing the website. We're going through and actually doing this restructure of the website right now. That way, you know, our pages will start ranking better. As a matter of fact, one of our pages that we knew we could definitely change quickly, which I have a video coming out. It's either tomorrow's video or the video after. I already have it scheduled, ready to go for you all. It was something that I found through the tool called SEO Quake that I did not know there was something wrong with our webpage, Pest Control Sachse, Texas. And sure enough, that page, instead of having the word Sachse, Texas plastered all over it, it had the words Dallas, Texas plastered all over it. So obviously that was not helping the search rank, right? For that web page. So that'll be a video you'll definitely want to see. It's not a long video at all. I think it's like an 8-minute video, roughly, something that'll be nice and quick for you all to see. But that's one where we go on the laptop, I do the webcam, and I'm like kind of in the corner while you all kind of see my laptop screen, and we just kind of dive into it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are, like I said, if you haven't already, smash that thumbs up button, or if you're in the chat, the heart, whatever the case may be, it lets me know you guys like when we do these live streams. Like I said, this is a newer streaming format. Usually I'm either up against this wall right here. I don't know if you guys can actually, you guys can't see that. I can turn you around though. Usually I'm up against that wall with the good old beautiful American flag doing our streams, or we're doing it from, like I said a little bit ago, the laptop. But I wanted to give you guys kind of a different angle, so to speak. I was like, well, I got the house to myself this week. I'm literally I was listening to music before I went live. I was like, I'm bored. Let me go ahead and do a live stream for everybody. Let's see if anyone wants to join in and ask questions or whatever the case may be while I work on the website a little bit before I go take a shower and go to bed this evening. What else did I do? Went to the gym a little bit ago, finally, trying to get back into it. Super hard. Let me know. I see we got like 3 of you all tuning in at the moment, which shout out to you all. It's late at night. I mean, maybe if you're on the West Coast, it's only like 8:15 right now. But, yeah, I mean, if you're in Central Time or Eastern Time, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night. Shout out to any of you all, if any of you all are in Central or Eastern Time Zone watching right now. But let me know in the chat if it's harder to work out in the summertime during busy season when it's 100 degrees than it is whenever, it's slower, right? There's something about winter. I'm in my best shape. Like, everybody's always talking about, oh, I got to get that summer body, this and this and that. Man, for me, it's the winter body. I'm in my best shape in the winter, and then come March, April, it just flips, and it's hard. Like, I always tell myself, okay, we just need to go at least 3 days a week. If we can keep going 3 days a week, and usually I don't have a problem sticking to that. There are weeks where, a week just flies by and I don't make it but maybe once or maybe even 0 for that week. But where I really slack off is the diet. And then, of course, like I said, instead of going 3 to 7 days a week, I'm going like maybe 1 or 2, 3 on a great week, and then some weeks 0. And then you combine that with, slacking off on the diet. That just makes everything 1,000 times worse. But yeah, we haven't had a question in a minute. Like I said, of course, if you all have any questions or anything, just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'll probably stay on here for a few more minutes, and then if we don't have any more questions or anything about, the pest control business or, just business in general, then I will probably hop off before long. But yeah, so what Google's telling me right now is on Google Search Console, it's saying that we have 3 web pages that have the no index tag on them. And that is true. So Google actually doesn't want you to hit no index. They would rather you just put a redirect, which I did this on purpose because Google's not gonna hit your website hard for just, an error that just popped up. They're gonna hit your website if, say, a week or so goes by or more, and that error is still popping up. They want you to fix those errors as soon as possible, but they know that, stuff takes time. They're not gonna hit you, in all honesty, from what I heard, it usually takes about 30 to 90 days. So I will use the Google Search Console as kind of my list of what I know I need to go through. And for example, this blog post called Prevent Common Pests from Entering Your Plano Home. That is a post that has done awful from day one. Why? Because the structure was wrong. We were doing just pets.com/blog. So it wasn't ranking at all. It was ranking in the 90s and hundreds. So page 9, page 10, etc. Pretty much not showing up. No one's going that far, right? And I guarantee. So what I did is in my WordPress platform is I went in there and I hit no index on it. That way, any of these that I don't want to be indexed anymore, which is funny, it took Google 3 days because Google's bot they don't just literally go through your website every day. It'll crawl just a certain amount. They have like a quota of pages to crawl, which is funny because it's a robot. You know it can do it all if it wanted to. But they have a quota of how many web pages each day. And of course, you can submit something to index that will let Google know, hey, this is a top priority of indexing, but they will only crawl so many pages per day. So with that, it's funny because it shows me that it's taken them roughly 3 days to crawl my entire website, roughly, because that's when I submitted this to the, no index on my platform that our website's on. So with that, as this starts to pile up, it's giving me a reminder that, hey, we need to recreate this page and structure it properly. So like I said, we had it up here as, preferredpestmanagement.org/preventing common pests from entering your Plano home, or now it'll say preferredpestmanagement.org/, pest control in Plano, Texas, /preventing common pests from entering your Plano home. See how that structure is a lot better too? It just sounds better too, right? And it all makes sense at the end of the day. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for tonight's video. I see everybody's kind of starting to drop off for the night. So yeah, it was a great little stream this evening. I appreciate those of you that did tune in. And even if you're tuning in post-stream, I appreciate you for tuning in and just watching the video. I do this stuff for you guys at the end of the day. It's awesome to see this community continue to grow day by day. I know, like I said, we're pretty heavy on pest control business, like starting a pest control business, growing a pest control business. A lot of you apparently searching for like how to start a pest control business, pest control company, whatever you're typing in at the end of the day. But like I said, we do talk, I say we talk about a lot more, but we've really been focusing on this a lot lately. Like I said, I just document my business journey at the end of the day, my entrepreneurial journey. And right now we're all in on this pest control business. There's a lot of opportunity in this business. If you've watched this whole video and you're watching the very end here, let me know in the comments. It'll let me know too who actually watched the very end. Let me know in the comments for those of you that are looking for like business ideas, because we have people who will type in like business ideas, business startups, that kind of thing, who are seeing the channel as well. It'll tell me on the back end of YouTube like what people are searching for and what we're showing up under. Let me know in the comments if you want me to break down on the whiteboard or whatever the case may be, kind of the math in terms of your true opportunity for the pest control industry, because it's pretty massive, to be honest. That's why we're so in on this business right now, because there's a lot of potential. Obviously, you want to make sure that you do things right and that you price things right, etc. But at the end, and pay people right too. That was the one thing that when I started my business, I was like, I want to be able to pay people long term, like the best companies, quote unquote, in the industry pay their employees. I want my employees to go home happy, in a good neighborhood, good home, providing for their family to where, they're not having to worry or stress out. Obviously you can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can't stop the unpredictable from happening in terms of big life, big money expenses that no one sees coming. But if I can at least pay my employees good money to where they make a good living and all that good stuff, then I'll feel good about, my entrepreneurial journey at the end of the day. So like I said, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a video about, kind of, I know we've done the startup math and, the business expenses, this and that, but let me know if you guys want me to do, the actual math in terms of what you can expect per route, because I'm not going just based off of my experience with my business. I'm going based off of the numbers that I know for a fact. The biggest company in the US is doing per route, not just based on my time there, but even the updated numbers, with inflation and everything, what you can expect in terms of, my experience, and then, quote unquote, their experience, because I still have lots of connections there, and I know, what the opportunity is for sure. So if you want that, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys as always, and be sure to subscribe for more tips for starting a pest control business, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, everybody.